Look. Oh, snap. Check out the countdown. Oh, snap. That means ropes is going down. Let's get it. We all know as wrestling in person tells the story in the ring, but let's take a different approach. Wrestling photographs can do the same thing. Wrestling photographs gain interest of wrestling fans as well. One of the best wrestling photographers brings fan interest to Off the Top Rope Wednesday night, live at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We welcome wrestling photographer Adriana Martinez. She joins your boy Ty Asbury live on Off the Top Rope. And you want to make sure you take a photograph of this awesome episode as well. Watch.
The Ropes Media. Tyrone Asbury. Yeah. Tyrone Asbury. Yeah. Every chance you get to hear us, you clear us. Just the time on the radio. My opinion's my opinion. Every time you hear me down moving out, later on the stereos.
What's up, everybody? Of course, it's Wednesday night. You know what's going down. Your boy Ty Asbury with this cool episode of Off the Top Rope. And I'm going to say this. Mark this down, of course, October 26th, 2022, because when this episode is in the history books, you're going to say, damn, this was an arm wrench of an episode, because tonight we're going to be teaching you, well, my guest is going to be teaching you, of course, wrestling, photographing, 1 in a million, 101, 102, whatever it is, because she's an awesome lady when it comes to wrestling, photographing. She gets it done. Let's welcome to the show,
Hey,
Adriana Martinez. Adriana, what's up?
What's up? How are you? Thank you for having me.
I'm doing good. Thank you for wanting to do the show tonight, coming on the show, and you being busy and everything. You have your own photographing business. I mean, wrestling. I mean, I've seen weddings and even boxing. Like, how do you maintain a life and being a mom? Girl, you busy.
That's for sure. Yes, I do it all. And I just feel like if you love it, you can make it work. And that's what it is for me. I love wrestling. I love photography. It's my passion. So it just works for me.
Yeah. And that's the thing too. Like, and I think I saw that quote that you just said, just do it on your Twitter. Because I've learned that too, Adriana, is that life's too short. Tomorrow is never guaranteed. And, just do it. I mean, whether it's, doing what you're doing, photographs and, bungee jumping, whatever. I'm just throwing stuff out there, everybody, just do what you got to do, because like I said, life is a blessing. You only get one. Yes. So, and Adriana, just preach on. When you ever got to preach on the ropes, just preach on. So. Now, I'm going to take a minute to take wrestling. I got to put this aside right now, because when I saw this, the promo you did for Off the Top Rope, and I saw the background there with the Chiefs banner. Unfortunately, I'm a 49ers fan. So you since you're awesome, you get a pass because y'all put a whooping on us. So, but you guys were the better team. That's all I can say. So
we needed that win for sure.
Yeah, and we're talking football. Everybody watching the show, we're talking a little bit of football. But going back and watching that game, we were doing good, but you guys just it was a wrap. I mean, right. Jimmy Garoppolo interception. Yeah, I don't want to talk about it, so
I know that would hurt.
Let's just talk wrestling. And I've never done this on the show before, talking about wrestling, photographing, which I think is a really cool thing. And of course, I want to ask you off the bat, for the fans that are watching the show, like, what do you want to put in the minds of fans that they don't know about wrestling photographing? Because as fans, we're looking at the seat and watching it, but you see it from the camera. So, like, what do you want fans to know about that, where they'll say, damn, I never noticed that before?
I think that when fans see us photographers ringside, they may think, she's just taking a picture. It's not. It's more than that. I feel like they have to know we are focused 100%. We anticipate the moves. We know where to go. there's just so much more to that. You see everything, and it's just an amazing experience that no one really knows unless you do it.
Yeah. And that's a cool thing because when you said it too, like you just like the competitors in the ring, you gotta like you gotta know where spots are going to happen because you just can't sit there and say you'll buy the bottom turnbuckle and take a
Right.
picture. It's like you're a part of the action too because when I watch wrestling TV, I'll see you or whatever, and it's a really cool thing. And which brings me, I want to ask you: has any talent ever come up to you and said, Adriana, I'm gonna do this during the match. You think you can get this in? Like, how many have
Oh
come to
yeah.
you about that? Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh
that
yeah.
happens all the time. Even the reps will say, "Hey, heads up, I'm going to be over here," or "This move's going to happen." Wrestlers were telling me the same thing. I'm going to get this move. Can you please kind of capture it? So it's all about communication. But again, I think being a fan myself, I anticipate the moves. I know what they're going to do, so that helps so much in preventing like injuries for me. Not to say that I almost didn't get killed a few times, but it's like I have fast reflexes, so I would get out the way, and it's just really fun.
Yeah, that's that's like a really like awesome thing because I think that being a wrestling photographer, you don't. I think you guys don't get enough credit for what you do because people don't. They just don't see that. They just see the action in the ring. They don't see what you do, and the ring crew, security guards, everything. It's just like there's so much to put into place to make a wrestling event, or a match successful. And you're a part of that. And I'm sure do you pinch yourself often because you're like, wow, I'm a part of this.
Oh yeah, it's a great feeling because like you said, it takes a lot of a lot of different people to put the show on and to get it going before it even starts. So everybody's role is vital. It's important, and it's just like when Journey Pro was when they first started, it was just amazing to see the crowd there, for what we put on. And yeah, I had to like pinch myself like, wow, like this is incredible that I get to be a part of it. So
Yeah. And of course, Adriana, there's so many promotions out there, promoters. I mean, looking for the best photographers in the world. So I want you to actually take, a middle turnbuckle statement and tell all the promoters watching the show right now as why they should bring you to their event so you can take a couple for them.
well, I feel like I would be a great photographer for any of your guys' shows because one thing about me is I love wrestling. I am not just a photographer. I absolutely love wrestling. I watch it, I follow it, and so I capture the moments. I tell the story. I don't just capture the typical type stuff. I like to capture behind the scene. I like to capture the in ring, the emotion, the moments, the fans. I think that's important. That doesn't get captured enough. And so when I capture that and I go back and edit my work and I see, I'm like, I love that expression. That tells the story too. It's part of wrestling. So I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, Rose, round of applause for girl for what you do. That's like a really cool thing. And promoters, I'm serious. Like I said, Adriana M Photos, that's the place to be at. So check her out, of course, too. Like I said, I'm gonna promote that all show long. But yeah, and you said it too, like you said the key word, editing. And Adriana, when you get done from a show and you got to edit, because we all know how it is to edit a podcast, pictures, how long and how much of a headache is it for you to do that? Because it's like, man, it looks like it because you put out some very like freaking cool out of this world pictures, but how much does it take to like edit them for the final product that you put out?
It could take a couple of hours. I kind of spread my days apart whenever I work on them. But the key thing is I've come a long way. I used to take much more photos than what I do now, but I kind of learned like, okay, you don't need so many. You just got to get the ones of the main, the main events or the main parts that are happening and not so much because then it takes longer to actually process them and go through them. Um, but I think now, like I said, with my experience, I have enough that I know I can capture the moment that I need and that the fans want to see. So I would take a couple hours at the most.
Oof, man, a couple hours. Because I mean, this is not like, oh well, it'll take 10 minutes, half hour, 40 minutes. No, like you said, a couple hours, just like to get a really cool photo like that. But I think it all stems from is this is what you love to do, and this is what you were
Oh,
born
yeah.
to do. And like I could tell by looking at all your social media, like you just don't want to take pictures. Like you're like in it, and like that's a really cool thing. And I've said before that people watching the show tonight definitely give wrestling photographers all over the world, including Adriana, what she does, for the business. Now, I got to ask you, of course, you're a wrestling fan just like me. Now, when you take back and look at wrestling, how would you describe as a fan and being involved in the business as well? How would you describe wrestling today in one word? Because wrestling changes 10 years from now, 20. Back then we had the Attitude Era, and it's just like wrestling just changes. But one word to put a tagline for wrestling today.
Diverse. It's very diverse.
Yeah.
You see so many different characters now, very creative, and you see it everywhere now. So yeah.
Now you're close to the action. You're right there by the probably the corner, turnbuckles, wherever you stand. Has there ever been a time where they've gotten a little too close to you and you're like, whoa, that was too close?
Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. So after COVID, we of course everybody shut down. And there was nothing going on. And so Journey Pro, there was a question like, hey, are we ever going to come back? And so they did. We came back, and our first show actually did not have a crowd. So we did it out of a friend's wrestling ring over there where he lives, and it was just the crew and the wrestlers. And so while they were filming, I actually got hit, but I stood up and I didn't fall. But I just went back to business. I mean, for me, it was just like I was in the action. It didn't hurt. I was just like, oh, okay. And maybe it was because I was kind of out of the game for a little bit. But yeah, it happens. It happens.
Yeah, and like you said, for you, even as outside of wrestling, but you being a photographer in general outside of wrestling, but like you said, COVID must have really hurt I don't know, I guess it hurt your business because people can be around each other and so forth. But it seems to me that you've done AEW stuff, Journey Pro, which we'll talk about. You've come back up, with the bang.
Oh yeah. I mean, with COVID, I knew everybody was hit pretty bad, but I think that everybody, became stronger, came back stronger, and just got right back in it. And I think that's what you have to do. You get knocked down. Okay, you can get down for a little bit, but get back up, make it work.
That's it. Like I said, she preaching. Listen to, Adriana said, you get knocked down, you get your butt back up, of course.
Oh yeah.
Now you got to teach us, because I don't know a damn thing about, taking pictures. I mean, so I want to roll this clip. I want you to teach us, of course, teach everybody watching tonight's episode live of Off the Top Rope. Now, things like, what technique do you need to catch a shot like this in wrestling? Because that's a damn good shot, because my boy got laid out right there. So how did you catch that? How did you catch that shot?
It's about your aperture, your shutter speed. You have to get it right, because if not, you're going to get a blurry image and you will not be able to see what's going on. Also, like, the other key thing is lighting. If you don't have enough light, it's going to look really grainy. It's going to look dark. So luckily we had pretty good lighting that night, but you have to get your shutter speed and your aperture, all your f-stop, all that accurate. Otherwise it's going to be blurry, out of focus. That's one other thing. You got to be focused on your subject, and especially if that they're moving. So you definitely got to pay attention and anticipate the moves as well.
Now, everybody watching the show, like I said, Adriana said, check out, of course, her Facebook, Adriana M Photos. Boom, go on there. Like I said, check all our great stuff. Now, you said, Adriana, with the lighting. Now, this is, of course, from Journey Pro. Now, the light that's in the background, the big, tall, super light, did that help a lot, or is just like the lighting from your camera?
Those lights, they're not so great, because they're those baseball field lights.
Yeah.
And they're way up high. My camera specifically is great at low lighting, so they did help, but it was also the camera. If you have a really good camera that does well in low light, that's going to help you a lot. Yeah. But so you just got to make sure you have what you need on your camera first too.
Speaking of things doing well, if you're not doing well tonight, I think the reason why you're not doing well tonight is because you're not watching Off the Top Rope Wednesday night live, because my live guest, of course, wrestling photographer, of course, Adriana Martinez is in the house. So when you watch this episode, put it on, and you're gonna be feeling a lot better. So put the ropes on right now. I mean, what are you doing? Come on, get together, everybody. Like I said, Adriana Martinez is in the house. Now, when you look at yourself and like for something that you love, for what you do, you want to keep getting better at it and better at it. When you probably look at maybe from last year until now, or a week up until now, what have you gotten better in as far as taking shots, you know, in the wrestling industry or wrestling matches? Because I'm sure you always want to learn something new, like about taking different shots. So what have you learned about yourself about being, a wrestling, photographer?
Oh, big time. I've come a long way. My photos are definitely more clear. They're more in focus. The action is just accurate right there on the dot. And also my lighting is a lot more better now. I've switched from Nikon to Sony. And so Sony does really well in low light. And so that has made a huge difference. And my main strength that I've just really improved on is just my promo pictures. Yeah. I do really well on those now. I've come a long way with those, and I'm just very proud of myself for that. Now,
that's the one thing. That's why I couldn't wait to do this episode. Now, you said the two lighting styles you had. One was, I'm gonna sound goofy. It was Prion. It was the other one. I'm sorry. It was
Nikon. Oh yeah, those are the brands.
So if you could go back to educate us, what's the difference between the two? Because I find it very interesting because I don't know anything about it. So I'm sure everybody's saying, yeah, Adriana, break it down to us. So we want to know the difference between the two.
Well, they're just the brands of the cameras, Nikon and Sony, just kind of like Under Armour and Nike. It's just that Sony does really well, and they're known for low lighting. And so I think it's that they're mirrorless, and that makes a big difference with the cameras because Nikon is not. And so the images are not as crisp and clear. And so I think that if you're going to switch, I like mirrorless. I think that's the way to go now. But Sony is definitely up there for that. So if you are a Nikon user or a Canon, you should highly consider Sony, I think.
Yeah, Sony. Yeah. Now, you, of course, being a fan, first and foremost, have you ever time where you're like, photographing a match and, you're sitting there, got the camera and your favorite wrestler lost and you're kind of like, either your favorite wrestler lost or a heel turn or face turn, and you were like, what the hell? Like I didn't see that comment, or your favorite wrestler lost, and you're like, with the camera, damn it. Like
oh no, never. Actually never. One thing about me is that I can multitask. When I am shooting, I am a fan as well at the same time. You can see some photographers, they can't do that. They'll miss the shot, or they get into it. They get, they kind of get emotional about it. Me, I can do both. I am like in the moment, I'm working and shooting, but I'm also a fan. So if somebody gets hit or, someone turns heel or whatnot, it's like I'm right there with the fans making the faces and or excited, but I'm getting the shot at the same time.
So pretty much when you're telling aspiring, wrestling photographers, if you got like a temper, you're gonna throw your camera, don't get involved. Like just stay home.
Right.
The one thing about as a fan, I always look at, of course, different wrestling territories. I mean, like you have, I'm gonna throw you New York, Philadelphia, the big cities, like where you're at, Kansas City. And when you take a step back and you look at Kansas City, is there, I guess, a market for how is it pretty much saying growth for wrestling, photographing in Kansas City, or you really don't pay too much attention to that? I was like really interested to ask you about that. If there's like a more of a market for, because you're setting the stone for people who want to be like you and get into, wrestling photographing. But is that a big thing in Kansas City, like the current, market for it?
I think so. I think we have a great wrestling community. We had NWL before Journey Pro came along. Now we have CSW, who they're doing really great. So we have a big community of wrestling fans, and I think that when you come to our shows, you definitely feel it. You can see, and we're all in it. So I think we have a good crowd. Yeah. Like
I said, KC style. Speaking of KC, I mean, I'll be the first to tell you, I'm greedy. Who doesn't want to eat, especially for a wrestling match? I'm sure you got your bag, the camera ready. Now let us know for people, Adrian, who haven't been to KC before. If I wanted to come to KC for a wrestling event and I got to stuff my face first, what is the best food to get in KC before I head to the arena?
Well, it depends. What kind of food do you like?
I'm because I'm a runner too, and a runner, and I use it. So I know that they could be bad, but I'm a carb guy, so I'm a pasta guy.
Hmm. Well, I really like Anthony's on 12th and Grand. They're really good. My siblings used to work there. They're super. They're always busy, and
Yeah.
it has a really good romantic, dark, like dim vibe. But it's very nice. It's really good too.
Well, like I said, you put me on notice. So in the future, if I go to KC, I'm gonna check it out. I'm not gonna wear my Niners hat. So that's probably a big mistake for me to do that. Now, of course, when I saw that you've been involved with these two great places, I'm gonna roll the clip, and I was like, man, when I saw this, I was like, man, she's definitely going places. Of course, that you went to, of course, AEW in June, and of course, you do a lot of things for Journey Pro. Now, between taking photographs, is there a difference in how you take them between the two promotions? Because promotions are different, or it's just the same. Just go do what you got to do.
It was a little different because for AEW, I was in the seats with the fans, where Journey Pro was ringside, following the action. So when I'm with AEW, I'm actually with the fans, and I have to bring a longer lens, so that way I can zoom in and get that shot. Otherwise, you're going to be wide and too far out. So I definitely have to make sure I bring different equipment, and from where I'm sitting, I just know I can have the reach to get those shots, because obviously they're a bigger venue, there's more people, and the lens is what it makes a difference.
Actually, me being a goofball that I am, because I'm thinking like for Johnny Hungy and Swerve and the shot there, I was like, man, she must have like third row or something, but it's the lens. So, but that
Yeah.
overall, it's definitely a great shot. But it's like you said, AEW, you're in the crowd with the fans, but Journey Pro, you're right there. But I think that you keep doing what you're doing. Tony Khan may see that, because like you're taking some really darn good pictures for AEW, and like that's a really cool picture to take. And like you got that on your resume, it's like, man, like you're building, your empire up.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I mean, I would really love to continue shooting for them. I mean, it'd be awesome to be on the road and, at every show. That would be a dream. But I'm gonna keep doing what I do and see if it happens one day.
Well, then, like I said, I don't know how often AEW comes to KC, but like I said, when they come to KC, you could be like their, main like kit and caboodle, wrestling photographer person. So like, yeah, I mean, and wrestling, I think now anymore, I guess with social media, it seems like in wrestling, there's so many connections, email, and just, it's like, I always say it on the
Yeah.
ropes. Yeah.
Yeah, because they have like their own in-house group of photographers. So I think that when you go, coming from like me, like an outsider, like you have to kind of know someone to get a pass, and you only get so much access. But
Yeah.
yeah, if they come back, I definitely want to go back on
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
No doubt. Like I said, AEW, this
Yes.
lady to get, like I said,
Thank you.
Adriana M photos. Let's get it going. Now, when you I want to ask you this too. This is your first time on the ropes, so
Yes.
this segment, I think you're going to like it. So I don't know, Sam. I'm gonna try to I'd stump you on this, but you'll probably rub it in. But you ready for the next segment?
Yes.
All right, let's go.
Damn, Ty.
That's good.
Now the question is, of course, all right. Adriana goes NFL, of course. Kansas City Chiefs tight end, Travis Kelce, my boy, of course, George Kittle for the Niners. Now, the thing is that I got my cell phone and I'm going to do a coin toss. Now, heads is Arrowhead Stadium, tails is Levi Stadium for the Niners. Now, this is going to pretty much dictate where this match will take place. Now, you got to answer after I do the coin toss. You got to decide the gimmick match and who wins. So, what I'm going to do is
Oh no.
I'm going to get on my cell phone here and I'm going to just bust it out. So, hey, Google, heads or tails? So, okay. Now, so we got tails for that. So let's go back to the clip. So, which means is that tails, so they're going to have to take their match and go to Levi Stadium in San Fran. Now, Adriana, your thing is that, of course, who wins and decide what the gimmick match will be between these two tight end studs.
Oh my gosh, I have no idea what their gimmick should be. But I can say all day long who's gonna win. I mean, because obviously it's gonna be it's gonna be the Chiefs. But I'm honest. I'm gonna be so honest. I am not good with gimmicks, so you kind of caught me there.
I think just seeing as talent. Well, I know for sure. I don't know about Kelsey, but I know for sure George Kittle's a huge wrestling fan because he does like the belts, and I know he's a wrestling fan for sure. But I would just say them in Levi Stadium, the ring, and on the 50-yard line, and just weapons all over the stadium. That I would pay to see that. So, but I got to say, since the Chiefs are on a run, I'm gonna say Kelsey gets the win because Niners, we hurting, man. We got injuries, we're all busted up. So Chiefs, I give y'all the Kelsey the win over Kittle on that. But I figure you like that segment, so and the coin toss. So, but yeah, you gotta go with your Chiefs. So
all day. Always. Even on our bad days, because we had a bad game. So.
Now, as we, of course, before we leave the ropes tonight, Adriana, and you move forward to, like I said, to doing wonderful things, what you're doing, where do you want to see yourself pretty much heading into the new year? Because 2023, which is crazy, is almost here. So where do you want to take Adriana M Photos, and where do you want to be next year, with wrestling, boxing, wherever you want to do?
So I've been doing a lot of fashion photography lately. And so we do it for the Kansas City Fashion Week. And I've done it for West 18th Street. Recently, we just did the Christian Michael at the Children's Mercy Park out at the Legends. So I'm starting to get my foot, really pretty deep in there. And I love it, honestly. It's kind of like a wrestling, but it's fashion. And so it's just great. The connections are amazing. I'm also kind of expanding myself and working more with events. So I just recently did one for Kansas City PBS. I have one coming up for Planned Parenthood. So it's just slowly building. Yeah. So I kind of want to do more like that, more big events and more fashion.
That's really cool. And I think for any business, there's nothing wrong with expanding. And, like I said, I know you, no doubt you got the talent. So girl, you got the talent, use it. And like I said, definitely a round of applause for, what you're doing and expand it. Now, I want you, Adriana, to, of course, before we jump off the top rope and get out of here with this awesome episode, I want you to slam and promote about what's coming up next for you. Because boom, like I said, promoters, if you want the best wrestling photographer ever, boom, you know who to go to. So, Adriana, slam and promote. What's up next for you?
Hey guys, so what's up? So if you're interested in a photographer who knows how to tell the story, capture the moment, and get all the fans and your clients, please reach out to me. I am an amazing photographer. I know how to capture the shot and get the work done. Check out my Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and hit me up.
Boom. Like I said, look, like I said, she got so many social media outlets in the world. There's no reason why you can't get in connection with the best, of course, photographer in the world today. Don't matter wrestling, weddings, boxing, whatever. Kansas City Chiefs, which we hope to see her there one day. Like I said, Adriana M Photos, it is where it's at. And Adriana, the last question of all, because I know you got stuff to do, from 1 to 10, would you come back on off the top rope again so we can party up and talk wrestling and football?
Yes, 10 of course, all day.
Well, I want to say first and foremost that God bless. I'm no doubt proud of you for what you're doing. And like I said before, when you get the green light from Tony Khan that you're going to be an official AEW photographer, let your boy Ty Asbury know, and we can plug it on the ropes.
Will do. Thank you. And God bless you as well. Thank you for having me.
This is your boy Ty Asbury. And like I said before, I hope you took a photograph of this episode tonight, because my live guest on the ropes tonight, the one, the only, the awesome, of course, photographer, Adriana Martinez was in the house. Like I said, Adriana, thank you very much. God bless.
Thank you.
I'm your boy Ty Asbury, as I always say. Love yourself. Love God. We're out of here. Have a great night, everybody. Peace out.
Tyron Asbury. Yo. Yeah. I need y'all to listen to me right now as I take you on this journey. Podcast journey. Only the greats can make it to this level. Ever since I was the younger man, I was podcasting truly so you understand. This is my life and my moment, and now a certain plan of everything that I did and truly who I am. Speaking as a man, I would always have the voice and the choice to be greater. I'm thinking about everything as I'm moving it later. I want you to realize who is the focused one, talking on this mic, and I become the one. You listen to me every time I speak to my voice. You got a choice just to listen to me or even clear it to me. This is the world of being great. Everything you say in the world now, moving now out the place. I want you to realize, to be like me. It's something truly that everybody can see. And the motive is to be great, not to sit back. Listen to everybody with their styles intact, and that's me. I'm Tyron, moving the mics on everything in the world. Stay important like a mic song. Quoting on the radio, know that you hear me in podcast. Number one up on the stereo. Feel me tonight. This the reason why I do it, alright. I wanna live a true real life and do the podcast, I'm living it right. Let's get it on. Yeah. And only one podcast can make it last or better forever, ever, ever. This is the moment being great for my time. Get your mind together, together. Even if you try to step back, nobody here can stop the move.